Good morning, students. This is KV Mohan Rao, Senior Zoology Faculty. In today's session, I'd like to teach some interesting concept regarding the reproductive health. Coming to this chapter, in the earlier sessions, we discussed some of the areas like the technical definition of a reproductive health that was given by the WHO, thereafter the strategies of reproductive health and the problems associated with that, and thereafter what is meant by population growth and population explosion. The difference between the population growth and the population explosion also we happened to see in the earlier sessions. And whereas in today's session, and I will concentrate on birth control methods. And as you know that the population exploitation is a great problem in our country, so it is need to us to control the population, so that the Indian government as well as individual families adopted different types of birth control methods. In today's session, we will concentrate on different types of birth control methods that are all available to us. And these birth control methods are otherwise known as contraceptive methods. Yes, coming to these contraceptive methods majorly act on three different principles, and based on that we have to select the contraceptive method. And coming to the three basic principles of the contraceptive methods on which they are all actually acting are here. One is prevention, sperm transport to the ovum is one of the important principle on which it acts, whereas the second one is preventing ovulation, whereas the third one is prevention of implantation of early embryo in the uterus. Let me give more clarity in this regard. Coming to these three different principles are actually the events of reproductive process. Coming to here, in this first principle, we can see that the sperm will be prevented without meeting with a ovum, so that it doesn't result in the formation of zygote, so that there is no implantation, so that there is no possibility of getting pregnancy. So this is the one major principle on which it actually here it functions. Whereas coming to the second one is prevention of ovulation process. And you know very well about this ovulation process that we already discussed in our reproduction topic. The ovulation is actually includes during the menstrual cycle time. On 14th day, the ova is released in the female reproductive system. If the ovum is here available during the same time, if the coitus is taken place, naturally sperm it releases into the female genital tract. Both of them will get an opportunity for fertilization. Finally leads to conceivance. So that here, if the ovulation is get prevented, so it also here leads to stopping of the pregnancy. Whereas the prevention of implantation, this is the third important principle. So even if the fertilization is taken place, if the early embryo is not allowed to get implant in the wall of the uterus, then there is no possibility of getting of pregnancy. So these three are the very important principles generally we use here as a contraceptive methods. Let us see the various types of the contraceptive methods in detail. Coming to these contraceptive methods, broadly classified into two different types. Coming to the first one, we used to call it as temporary method. This temporary method is otherwise known as spacing method also. Whereas coming to the second type of method, here it is permanent methods. Coming to this permanent method has got even another name. We call it as a terminal method. Let us see here these two things in a detailed way. Coming to the first one, that is a temporary method. It is for time being. This method, it helps for postponement of the pregnancy, or else it helps to give the space in between the successive births of a children. So that since it is giving the space in between the two children, we call it as a here spacing method. Since it is working out for a short time period, we call it as a temporary method. If the couple want to get a baby, if you stop using this method, they do get a chance to have another baby again. Coming to the permanent method, once this method is get adopted, then the couple or a person individually will become sterile. So they are not able to here get the children in the next case. So they here getting the chances of pregnancy will get end. That is the reason why we call it as terminal method also. Let us see each here methods in a detailed way. Coming to this temporary method has got many types. So I am going to give you much clarity with regarding these temporary methods as well as the permanent methods also. Let us focus on this part here in today's session in detail. Temporary methods. So we can list almost all 8 number of methods under this heading, that is temporary method. Among the variety of these temporary methods, the first one is known as natural method. Whereas the second one is known as barrier method. Whereas the third one is known as chemical method. And the fourth one is intrauterine devices. The abbreviated form of these intrauterine devices is IUDs. Some of the questions directly they do use these abbreviated form. So you should be much familiar with these abbreviated forms of the technical words also. Whereas coming to the fifth one is oral contraceptive pills. Whereas here the sixth one, it includes hormonal injections, and here the sixth one, it includes morning after pill, so these are all here variety of the contraceptive methods that are all available to us under this one, the temporary methods. Now I'd like to brief you all these methods, thereafter I'll go for a detailed explanation of each method. Coming to this method, that is a natural method. This natural, it happens so that you need not to use any devices, any chemicals, drugs in order to stop the pregnancy. As it is naturally occurring, we call it as a natural method. Coming to the next one is the barrier method. This barrier method actually prevents the sperm meeting the ovum. Here in this method generally we are using different kind of barriers. That is the reason why we call it as here the barrier method. Whereas the third one is the chemical method. In this case we do use different kind of chemicals which are naturally the spermicidal drugs that kills the sperm so that there is no chances of meeting the sperm with a ovum. So we can prevent the pregnancy in this case also. Thereafter, intrauterine devices. In this case, a certain kind of devices are get placed in the female genital tract so that they do prevent the fertilization process. Since they are all taking place inside the uterus, we call it as intrauterine. As it is a device, it is known as intrauterine devices. Whereas the next one is oral contraceptive pills. Coming to these oral contraceptive pills consist of certain kind of tablets. Hence we call them as the pills. So these pills have got certain kind of hormones that prevents the entire ovulation process. Whereas the coming to the next one is hormonal injections. These hormonal injections the women used to take every 3 months span of time, so that they do release the hormones which can prevent the ovulation process in the menstrual cycle. Coming to this morning after pill, it also includes certain kind of here drugs or tablets that here releases the certain kind of hormones which finally prevents the ovulation process. Of all these, let us concentrate on these natural methods in detail now. Coming to the natural method, it includes 3 different types again. So of all these, the first one is here withdrawal method. This withdrawal method is otherwise known as coitus interruptus. Is one thing. Thereafter, lactational amenorrhea, and here thereafter, let us see these 2 things in detail now. And coming to this withdrawal method, it includes during the coitus time, at the time of ejaculation, the male withdraw his penis from the female genital tract, so that the insemination will not be taken place. So the sperm is ejaculated outside the female genital tract, so that no chances to have a pregnancy in this case. That is the reason why this is known as a withdrawal method, or else we call it as here coitus interruptus is one thing. Whereas the second method, and coming to here, the possibilities in this are not 100% perfect, so there is a chances of failing of this here this method, because not only the ejaculation, even before the ejaculation some of the sperms will get released into the female genital tract, so that this method is not 100% safe. Whereas the next one is lactational amenorrhea. In this case, soon after the mother give birth to the baby, then they will go for intense lactation. During the intense lactation, generally here menstrual cycle will be get stopped, so that no chances of ovulation, so there is no chances for getting the pregnancy. And this method is here useful, or it is more successful in the first 6 months only. In the first 6 months span of time, it is most useful, and even it has got its own limitations. And thereafter here, abstinence. Abstinence here, it includes avoid sexual intercourse in a particular time. Coming to in the 24/8 days of the menstrual cycle, on 14th day there is a chance of ovulation process. So if the couple avoid taking part in a coitus during this particular time period, so that there is no chances to get the pregnancy. Particularly here during these 28 days of menstrual cycle, from day 10th to the day 17th, if they do not take part in coitus, naturally here no possibilities to get a pregnancy. That is the reason why this period during the menstrual cycle is known as fertile period. A fertile period it is. The reason for this fertile period, because here it has got some basic facts. The first fact here it is that you know that, as I said already, the 14th day ovulation it takes place. The second fact here is ovum has got a lifespan of 24 hours or else 1 day. And whereas the third important fact, the sperm that releases has got the lifespan of 72 hours or 3 days. That is the reason why here it is this particular period is known as a fertile period, and the couple are not allowed to take part in the coitus during this period. So by following these three, naturally we can avoid here getting pregnancy. So these are all known as natural methods. Let us see here the second important temporary method here in this case. Whereas the second type of method is barrier method. And this method, it acts on the basic principle, as I said earlier, is prevention of the sperm without meeting the ovum. So in this case here, the male and female use different kind of barriers in order to avoid conceiving. And the point here it is, one of the important barrier method, usage of condoms is one thing. Coming to this condom, here is a specialized structure which generally covers the penis in a male and that covers even the vagina and cervix in a female. Coming to this condom is made up of rubber or else a latex sheet. And during the coitus time, generally male used to wear to their penis, whereas female used to cover their vagina and cervix. And here the thing, so even if they take part in a coitus, even if the insemination is done, the semen is get collected in these condoms, so that they are not allowed to enter into the female genital tract. Finally, it doesn't lead to the fertilization process. So this is one important thing. And here the another advantage of these condoms is it protects the users from the sexually transmitted diseases as well as AIDS like kind of diseases. So it is dual in its function. One is prevent the pregnancy, whereas the another one protecting the users from sexually transmitted diseases as well as AIDS, such a kind of diseases. And coming to the another important point related to this is, these are all the disposable. Once the condom is used, it is not possible to reuse it again. And coming to here, the picture of this one, these condoms are separate for male and female. Coming to the male condoms that you know, so this is the male condom. So the popular brand of the male condom, as you all know that here, Nirod, that is available in the market. So whereas the interesting bit related to this, the female condoms are like this. The female condoms are given a special name, which is an important bit, known as femidomes. Femidomes, the female condoms here are. So this is one of the barrier method generally we do adopt, and we do go with this in order to avoid the coitus. Whereas coming to here, is one thing, cervical caps, whereas the last one is vaults. Let us see about each one in a detailed way. Coming to the diaphragm, when you see this here, it is a dome shaped structure, and this is also made up of a rubber and a latex sheet. This diaphragm generally used to place in the female genital tract. As you all know here about the female reproductive system, the female reproductive system consists of various parts. Among all of them that you know very well about the cervix as well as the uterus and vagina. And you know that this very well, you know, it's a uterus, whereas this part is known as cervix and this is vagina, and here it is uterus. This is a structure generally placed in a female genital tract here at this area, so that it covers the cervix as well as this vagina, this uterus also. Even during the coitus time, if the sperms are get released in the female genital tract, as they act like a barrier and here we will have the ovary release the ovum, and this ovum is taken up into the fallopian tube, and the sperm and ovum will not get an opportunity to meet because these kind of structures act like a barriers. So this is a one more important thing. Whereas coming to the second one, that is cervical caps. The cervical caps is nothing but the minimized diaphragm is known as the cervical cap. So this is the structure of the cervical cap. The pictures also very important to us because in examinations they do give the pictures and they will ask the bits based on the pictures also. This is what we call is a cervical cap, which is a here minimized diaphragm this is, and this is also can be placed in the same place so that here the cervix will be get closed, so no sperm will get an opportunity to meet with a ovum. Whereas coming to the next one is valves. Valves is also there, which is a dome shaped structure it is, and coming to here rim of this one is very thick when you compare with the diaphragms as well as cervical caps, and this is also get placed here so that it acts like a barrier. In order to increase the effective functioning of all these barriers, generally these barriers are used along with the spermicidal drugs. The spermicidal drugs are collected in the form of paste and all, and the drug is get here smeared internally the surface of all these things. So whenever the sperm it enters and it comes here, it will be get killed by the action of spermicidal drugs. So that is actually a point. Drug is used. This is used in the form of jellies, paste, cream and all, so that the effective functioning of this barrier method can be increased, multiplied by using these spermicidal drugs along with these diaphragms, cervical caps as well as valves. And thing is here, one more important thing we need to remember is even after the coitus, these devices must be placed in the female genital tract for about 6 hours. It should not be removed immediately after the coitus. They must be remain there in the female genital tract for about 6 hours so that they can function very effectively. And one more advantage with these diaphragms and all is they are all reusable. Coming to here earlier whatever I said is a condom is a disposable one, whereas this one is reusable. After completion of the coitus, after you wait for about 6 hours, you can remove from a female genital tract, you can wash it and preserve carefully so that wherever it is required, whenever it is required, you can make use of this once again. So this is all about the barrier method. Let us see the third important one, that is chemical method. Is a third one, chemical methods are available. Since the name is indicating they are all the chemicals like drugs, and these chemicals are here generally includes spermicidal drugs. And you are all very familiar with certain types of names like insecticides, pesticides, fungicides and suicides. Just like that, it is a spermicide. So here insecticide means that is here the chemical which kills the insects. Pesticide, it includes here killing of pest. Suicide means who kills themselves. In the same way, it is a spermicidal drug, so which kills the sperms. Since we call it as here the spermicidal drugs, the chemical methods are available to us, and all these chemicals are here available in the form of jelly, in the form of cream, in the form of paste, and finally foams. They are all available to us. So generally before the coitus, if they take part, female generally used to use these kind of chemical method. They take the cream and they do place the cream or the jelly or foam, whatever it is, in a female genital tract at the vagina as well as at the opening of the cervix, so that even after the coitus, if insemination is done, the sperm, it enters into the vagina and it tries to enter into the uterus through the cervix. At this case, since there is a drug which can kill the sperms, so that it easily can kill the sperm, so it will not reach to the ovum, so no possibility of fertilization. This is the one how it takes place. Coming to the major chemicals that are all present within that are, important bit it is, the chemicals that are all present in all these jellies, creams, paste and foams. Here it includes citric acid, lactic acid, boric acid, and apart from that, zinc sulfate, and potassium permanganate. And these are all here the chemicals that are all included within that. Along with that, one more important here chemical is also there. Nonoxynol is the chemical also present within that. So all these acts like a spermicidal drugs and they kills them finally. And one of the important bit they'll ask from this area is the very famous, the cream that is available to us in the market we are all using is a Delphin. Delphin is one of the important chemical or spermicidal drug that available to us in the form of cream and can make use in order to prevent the pregnancies. This is the third important method. We call it as a chemical method. Whereas coming to the fourth one is intrauterine devices. Intrauterine devices, as I said already, the abbreviated form of this one is IUDs. And that here it is a device and it is placed in the uterus, that means inside the uterus, so we call it as intrauterine devices. The very important point related to this is one cannot place these devices in their female genital tract by their own. It is an important part, and that too, this is the method is only useful for the females. And for inserting these devices into the female genital tract, there we requires a doctor or a trained nurse or a healthcare person. They only can place these devices in the female genital tract. We should not do it by our own. This is an important point, need to be keep it in mind. Coming to these intrauterine devices are categorized into three different types. One is non-medicated, IUDs is one important thing. So the best example for this, examples of these intrauterine devices are important, and these examples comes under which category is also important in medical entrance point of view. And here the best example for these intrauterine devices is lips loop is one important thing. Whereas the second type of intrauterine devices, it includes copper releasing IUDs. Copper releasing IUDs is the second category of these intrauterine devices, and the best examples for this here are copper T, copper 7 and multi-load 375. These are the three best examples for that. The question will be asked in such a way that which of the following is copper releasing IUDs, or else which of the following IUDs are not involved in releasing of copper ions, so that you will get in the options any one of these three, or else you will get in the options the three, one will be odd one out, so that you are able to identify the particular one. Okay, thereafter here coming to the third type of intrauterine devices, it includes hormonal or hormone releasing IUDs. This hormone releasing IUDs, it includes first one, progesterone, and here LNG20. So these two are the best examples for the hormone releasing IUDs. Let us see here these things in a detailed way. The lip loop is the example for non-medicated one. There is no involvement of any hormones, or there is no involvement of releasing any ions in this case. Simply this will be get closed the lips of the vaginal tract, so that no possibility of pregnancy. Whereas a copper releasing IUDs, here this copper releasing IUDs particularly involves in releasing of copper ions. These copper ions will be get continuously released in the female genital tract. And here the diagrams of these three things also very important to us. So now I do go with showing the diagram of copper T as well as multi-loaded 375. Coming to this copper T, since it is in the shape of alphabet letter T, we call it as here T, copper, and that too, since it is releasing the copper ions, we used to call it as copper T. Whereas a multi-loaded one, in this case, if you happen to see, this is the one, the multi-loaded copper releasing here device that we use. And these two generally used to place in the female genital tract. That is the reason why here while you are inserting this one, you should be much conscious and should be aware about the inserting of this device in the uterus. That is the reason why for inserting or using these intrauterine devices, here expert professional doctor is required, if not experienced nurse is required. So that I am stressing the point once again, one should not keep these devices in their genital tract by their own. That is an important part. And here, how do these functions actually? And during the coitus time, as I said, the sperm it releases, and by releasing the copper ions, the first important point is here it increases the phagocytosis. It's an important point. And being as a biology student, you all might be aware about this process, phagocytosis. This phagocytosis, it includes engulfing the foreign cells or the foreign bodies, and they all kills these foreign bodies and digests them. In the same way, when the sperm, when it enter into the female genital tract, here the cells of the female genital tract attack on these sperms and engulf them, so that here they will be get killed. So by placing these intrauterine devices, it increases the phagocytic here effect of the female genital tract is one important thing. Whereas the second thing is the sperm that releases here must swim and travel all along with here the way of female genital tract. Finally the sperm must reach to the fallopian tube where the fertilization it takes place. So while it is traveling, the copper ions, they do here decrease the motility of the sperms. The sperm's movement will be get arrested because of these ions, so that they cannot here move with a certain speed and they cannot reach the ovum. So chances are not there for getting pregnancy is the second important benefit of that. Whereas here these two things. Coming to hormonal releasing IUDs are there. Along with these two functions that are all performing by these copper releasing ions, the hormone releasing IUDs here releases certain kind of hormones and make the uterus unfit for the implantation of fertilized egg or a zygote. That is an important part. So even if the sperm reaches the ovum, fertilization is possible. Even the fertilized zygote travels down to the uterus, then it should be embedded in the wall of the uterus. This process is known as implantation. Whenever the implantation is done successfully, then the growth of the fetus will be taken place. So we consider that as a pregnancy. But the thing is here, even after the fertilization process, since the uterus creates an environment which is not suitable for implantation process, So there is no chances of getting pregnancy. That is one thing. And these hormones that are all released by the devices here act on the cervix and increase the secretion of the mucus. The mucus secretion will be created more. So the movement of the sperm into the uterus will be get obstructed. So no possibility of getting the pregnancy even in this case. So this is what all about intrauterine devices. In the coming session, I will give more detailed information regarding some more temporary methods, and thereafter we'll go with the permanent methods also in detail. Thank you all.